I'm Denika, and this is my debut novel, Royal Orchid, The Death Hunters. It's the first book in a series, but this is the only one that's been released so far. Today I'll be reading you Chapter 1, The Missing Penguin, but first I'll start off by reading the blurb. A vengeful dragon, a magician lurking in the shadows, a ragtag team fighting to stop the planet from plunging into turmoil. When 14-year-old Ivy falls through a portal into Ghost Orchid, she is scared and alone. Then, she meets a group of teen rebels fighting to save the icy wasteland. But are they really the good guys? Or are they as crazy and dangerous as they seem? Struggling to understand her place in this strange world, she listens to a slithery voice in her head, which promises a way out, a way home. But is she prepared to abandon her new friends, her Kia and Snowmouse? Or will she stay and fight to stop Ghost Orchid and Earth from plunging into chaos? So Royal Orchid is set on Ghost Orchid. See if you can spot the dragon flying around Fang Mountain. So now I will read you Chapter 1, The Missing Penguin. Ivy fought to focus on her parents. Only their silhouettes were visible, with the shape of golden curly hair like hers. She wanted to stay near them, keep drinking in the sight of them forever, even as the image faded. Pressing a note into her fingers, they started to disappear. She flung out a hand, but like smoke they slipped through her fingers. She reached for them again and again, trying to grasp any part of them, desperate to bring them closer. But with each lunge they drifted further away. The vision dissolved, her dark room swimming back into focus. She let out a shuddering breath, sweat coating her and her heart thumping. It's just a dream. She swung her legs from the lumpy mattress that acted as her bed, the dusty attic's bare floorboards rough beneath her feet. Reaching over to her battered bedside table, she tugged open the drawer and fished out the note she'd been found with. It was grubby and worn with time. She didn't need to read the faded words. They were seared into her memory over the long, lonely years. Please care for this child. Her name is Ivy. She was born on December the 9th. Keep this bookmark with her, always. She gazed out the window towards Aoraki. Ribbons of orange streaked the sky as the sun peeked over the distant mountains. A Kia screeched. Mum, Dad, I wish you were here, she whispered. Carefully replacing the note, Ivy reached for her penguin bookmark, the only other thing she'd been found with. The image on it appeared so real, shimmering blues and gleaming whites. She leaned closer, a frown creasing her forehead. There should be 5 penguins. One was missing. Ivy blinked. The penguin was back. She rubbed her eyes. The light must be playing tricks on me. She placed the bookmark on her bedside table and lay back down, turning over and snuggling beneath the sheets. The penguin winked, but Ivy had already fallen asleep. After eating breakfast by herself, Ivy stood, the chair grating against the floorboards, and left the rickety table. The bookmark was silently calling her. It always had been. She needed to touch it, hold it. Hey, Ivy! Startled, Ivy turned from midway up the stairs. Seeing Metric, her hand tightened on the stair rail. A wave of dislike washed over her. What does he want now? What? She snapped. Metric, a 15-year-old fellow orphan, was a head taller than her and known for being irritable and meddlesome. His ribs were visible through his white shirt. There was never enough food to go around. Ivy detested all the kids in the orphanage. It had always been difficult for her to make friends, as if she didn't belong in this world. Metric didn't make it any easier, always sticking his nose in her business, wanting to know everything about her. You're going to look at that bookmark again, aren't you? Yes, so what? Why? Metric prodded. She shrugged and hurried up the stairs, chest tight with annoyance. Why? Metric persisted, following her. Ivy spun at her door to face him, frustration bubbling inside her. Because it's important to me, okay? Metric opened his mouth to say something, but Ivy slammed the door in his face. She strode across the room, hunching on her bed. She clasped the bookmark between her fingers. She hadn't told anyone about the pull the bookmark had on her. No one would believe her anyway. What's that clicking noise? Ivy glanced up. It sounded like penguins. Impossible. The bookmark grew cold in her fingers like a slither of ice. She gazed around. The morning sun shone through the attic window, lighting up the dust floating in the air. Nothing. Maybe I imagined it. Ivy leaned her ear against the bookmark. A cold breeze suddenly flowed from the icicle-like surface. Then she was falling. Tumbling, flipping around and around as she plummeted through space. She smashed into something, the impact driving the breath from her lungs. Water filled her mouth, her nose, and her ears. It was cold. No, it was worse than cold. It was a biting, ripping, piercing monster, like a living thing. Waves sloshed over her head, determined to swallow her. Ice bobbed in the water, bumping against her. Ivy gasped. Her heart missed a beat, her chest tightening in fear. She had dropped into an icy sea beside a wasteland covered in snow. Numb from the neck down, shaking and coughing up seawater, she struggled to an ice shelf and hauled herself up. The biting wind nipped at scratches on her arms caused by the shards of ice. Thin trails of blood trickled down her arms, down her hands, dripping onto the frozen ground like tears. Her curly golden hair was covered in sleet, her face stung. It was silent and white in every direction. The sky was an unchanging, perfect blue. Penguins waddled around in the distance, leaving little white tracks in the snow. It was identical to the landscape she'd been gazing at seconds before. Am I in the bookmark? Ivy gave a shaky laugh, then stopped. Her heart lifted with hope. Figures were cresting a rise in the distance. She ran to them. Maybe they can help me get home. Then she stopped, dead, breath catching in her throat. They were armed. Both Death Hunters and the prequel Into the Flames are free for a limited time, so go onto my website to check them out. Stay safe, stay home. See you later.